Starting a brand new series today called Random Presidential Matchups. Tulsi Gabbard and Stephen A. Smith were selected from the betting odds using a random number generator to put them into their respective places, and we will be looking at a hypothetical matchup between both candidates for the 2028 presidential election. Hit the like button and subscribe if you want more content just like this. Make sure to go ahead into the description down below and vote in the virtual simulation 2042 midterms online and vote Republican down the ballot. I am on the ballot in a race for governor here, so please make sure to go fill this out. I will be leaving the link in the top right of the video right there. We will also see some results have already poured in from 2 p.m. and I am just within a couple of points of actually taking the seat away from the Democrat incumbent in the state of Iowa here, and the last update had me down 15 points. So make sure to go ahead and vote on this, and make sure to check out my new aggregation site called On Point Aggregate. I will be doing a solo video on this once it's fully finished and updated. Donald Trump's approval rating is currently net plus 0.5 at 49%, which is about what he got in the 2024 presidential election. So that is about where he is right now, and it only includes the most accurate pollsters from the 2024 presidential election. So make sure to go check this out as well. Now, looking at this matchup, Stephen A. Smith versus Tulsi Gabbard would be really interesting. Both the debates I think would be really good. I think both would perform respectively well in debates. I believe Tulsi would win Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, all of Nebraska except that 2nd congressional district, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, South Carolina, and Alaska by safe margins, as well as looking at Maine. It is just below the safe margin there. So 125 safe electoral college votes for Tulsi Gabbard. I don't even think Florida matches the safe requirement. For Stephen A. Smith, we have the state of California, Oregon, Washington in the safe blue column here. 23 points for Stephen A. in California, 15 in Oregon, and 18 in the state of Washington. If we look over here at the previous election results, we can clearly see that Washington shifts left by a little bit, shifts left in Oregon a tiny bit, and shifts a little bit to the left in the state of California. We can also see the state of Colorado is about an 11-point win, so fairly similar to 2024, about the same margin. The shift in the Hispanic vote to the right and other college white groups also plays a factor into the state basically staying the same from the last cycle. We also can go ahead and see in the state of Illinois about a 14.6 percentage point win. So that's 4 points bluer than what it was back in the 2024 presidential election when Harris won the state of Illinois by 10.9 percentage points. We can also see Vermont, Massachusetts, Maryland, the District of Columbia, and Maine's 1st congressional district all in the safe Democrat column, as well as the state of New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Delaware in this safe column, as well as the state of Hawaii, which currently comes in as just a 25-point win. So it actually shifts to the left from the last cycle. Maryland is also a little bit of redder from the last one, just like a half-point redder. Massachusetts, about the same margin as it was in 2024, a little bit bluer, and Vermont is slightly redder in this election cycle. So very, very interesting to see that play out on the map here. New York also 8-point bluer on the map here, 13.6 percentage point win for Stephen A. Smith. Looking at some other states here, Iowa and Ohio, as well as Texas and Florida, will all be a likely margins between 6 to 12-point victories for Tulsi. She wins Iowa by almost 11, Ohio by 11 points, which is roughly around what President Trump won it by. She's going to win Florida by 11.4% and wins the state of Texas by 9.5 points in this matchup here. And we can see with Maine 2nd at just below 12 points, that puts Tulsi at 219 electoral college votes. New Mexico will also be in the likely column at 7 points for Stephen A. Harris won it by a point back in 2024, or 6 points, so it gets a point bluer this time around. We can see the state of New Jersey almost a 9-point win, so it shifts to the left by about 3 points. We can see that there, as well as in Minnesota, a 6.4 percentage point win margin in Minnesota. That is 2 points bluer than what it was back in the last cycle. So Stephen A is making gains with the Democrat base from President Trump's win in the last election cycle. Virginia also being an 8-point win for Stephen A, including the state of New Hampshire at 7.6%. So it goes back to the 2020 margin from 4 years ago, 5 years now, and not as close as it was in 2024 when New Hampshire was less than a 3-point win for Kamala Harris with Donald Trump on the ballot. And we can even see Nebraska's 2nd congressional district is over 6 points in the likely column. So that finishes off all of the likely and safe states on the map. We have a couple of swing states left up for grabs for either candidate here. Starting out with Maine, the state of Maine is about a 5-point win, so it does shift to the right by 1.5 points here, and it does fall below 6, so it is slightly in the lean column. Tulsi Gabbard does have a coalition here that would actually help her out in the state of Maine, gain some support there, so I would not exactly be surprised to actually see her slightly improve in the state of Maine. Now, looking at the traditional swing states, North Carolina ends up coming in as about a 3.1 percentage point win, so barely bluer than what it was in 2024. The state was a crucial state to President Trump's victory in the last cycle, and Tulsi must hold on to it if she wants any odds at winning the presidency. Looking at the state of, let's go ahead and look at the state of Nevada. We see a 2-point win in Nevada, so that's a point less than what it was in 2024. And Arizona, a 1.5 less red than what it was last time, which puts Tulsi at 252 in the Electoral College. Now, we do see the state of Georgia ends up voting for Stephen A by 1.5 points here. The Atlanta area would presumably get significantly bluer as time goes on in the next 4 years, and so Stephen A would probably be able to narrowly pick off that state, including the state of Michigan in his column as well, by just 0.5%, very narrowly tip it into his column. Now, Pennsylvania is about a 1.2 percentage point win. It's very close, and that barely puts Tulsi over the top in the state of Pennsylvania, with Wisconsin also narrowly going into her column by 0.4%. And so the final map shows Tulsi Gabbard winning 281 Electoral College votes to Stephen A. Smith's 257 Electoral College votes. If you disagree with this map, make sure to comment down below. Or if you do agree, make sure to go ahead and comment that below as well. Again, make sure to vote in the elections online and check out the On Point aggregate as of right now. And I will see you guys in the next video.